Hi there, it's Kennedy from ResponseSuite. Let me take you inside the ResponseSuite app to show you how you can start using surveys in really intelligent ways to do more with every single piece of marketing that you're putting out there. So when you log into your ResponseSuite account, the first thing you'll see is you're at your dashboard where you can see all of the key stats that you might want to see about your surveys and the responses, and you'll be able to keep up to date with things at a glance. We're going to use an example survey on this one rather than showing you one of our customers' live surveys, because we wouldn't want to do that, would we? But here's an example one that I just knocked together in the last 15 minutes, which is Brandon's Super Fitness Business Survey. I know it's a terrible title, and it was just thrown together without really any knowledge of Brandon's Super Fitness Business whatsoever, but it'll give us a good example as a good illustration for all the things, or some of the things, that ResponseSuite can do. So let's take you quickly into this survey. I'm going to go into My Surveys. You can search all of your surveys just like this to find them really easily. So we're going to do that. Hovering over each one, that'll generate a little preview so you can easily find the one that you're actually looking for. And then we'll go into edit mode. Boom, just like that. Down the left-hand side, you've got all the different elements, all the different tools you might want to use to build a survey. And that includes adding headlines and body text, putting section and page breaks in, adding terms and conditions to help you be compliant with terms and conditions, or even GDPR. That'll help you with that. Dropping images in. I'm going to show you something really cool about the images in a second. Putting videos in there so you can really engage with people right from the page, and of course adding spaces in to make it look really cool. So we did mention the images. A few things to show you about the images, which you're going to love to make your surveys look really good, so you get higher results and higher responses. So what you can do from in here is you can upload your own pictures if you've got your own bespoke imagery. Here's a picture of my business partner Rob and I are actually conducting a podcast interview. You could drop one of your own pictures in, just upload them, really easy. We've actually had our in-house artist here at ResponseSuite draw a really huge range of images in here, so you can search those things. So maybe you're in the travel niche, so there's a search for travel. There's a whole bunch of things you could do in the travel niche, and you could just drop those in. They're free for you to use. If you're in fitness, you might look for fitness. You might look for, I don't know, anything really. A star. We've got some stars. I'm just making this up, and they're in different categories, including divider, header, and icon. You can find them really easily. But to expand that and make it even easier for your surveys to look great, we've hooked up with some stock image providers, and that we're constantly expanding which ones they are. At the time of making this, we've got Pixabay and Pexels on board, and if you can search for literally anything you like, and let's say you're looking for something to do with fish, and then you just search for fish, and lots of pictures of fish that you can drop in to your survey will be right there for you to use. Really, really easy. Of course, at any time you make any kind of changes that you thought, actually, that doesn't look quite as good as I thought it might have looked, you can hit the undo button, and you can hit the undo button again, and boom, you're back to where you were. I'm going to save that, save our progress as we go along. So what kind of things can you drop in the builder, okay? And then we're going to get into some of the really, really smart stuff. In the builder itself, one of the things you might want to do is put these different questions over different pages. That means that your survey might look something like this. We've got the first page here, and then once they've completed those pages, those questions, you might take them to the next page. We've got this nice progress bar, which is lovely. You just drop that in. You can choose the color. You can choose whether it's animated. You can change the progress bar from being all like a line and a percentage progress bar to easily over here. Click on the little cog. Boom, easy peasy. Change it from percentage, which is what it was, like that. Change it to steps. You've got lots of different options. Show the step numbers, show little line outlines to make them look funky, add little labels to the steps, and of course you can choose any color you like for those steps, depending on what your brand is. And you can even put the hex or the RGB code in there to make it totally on brand for you. That's what's really important, okay? This should not look like a ResponseSuite survey. This should look like a survey from your business with your brand. That's why you can add images in there, put your branding in there, change all the colors, change all your fonts right inside of here, make you look really cool, choose little colors, all that sort of good stuff. And we've even put together a really sweet color palette. If you're a bit like me and you're not really sure what color goes with what, or which tones are really trendy right now, Grace in our office is taking care of all of that stuff, and she keeps that constantly up to date with the trendiest of the colors on the internet. I don't know how she does it, but she does. So that's all taken care of for all of us. So that's inside the builder. Now, inside the builder, in terms of the questions, it's everything you expect in your regular survey system. So you can drop a question in, and then you can choose the answer type, a whole bunch of answer types, from text to multiple line text, big boxes, numbers, single choices, By the way, adding a single choice question like this massively increases your completion rate of your surveys, as does adding a percentage or a number of steps along the top, like a percentage and progress bar. That really helps with the number of people who complete your survey. Make it really easy for them to complete it by adding things like single choice or multiple choice questions, where they check a box or hit a radio button just like that, okay? Drop-down menus, you've seen a million of them on the internet before. You've got those. Date fields, we use one of those in this very survey. And email fields, if you want to collect people's data. And we'll show you why you might want to do that in a few moments' time, because this is a massive tool for being able to do that. And then, of course, rating. The other thing that you won't see in there right now, I'll just delete this to show you it. Boosh, just like that, is a matrix field. So again, you can add matrix questions in like that. Okay, let me just undo that change, because we can, and click save, and let's progress. So if we go to this survey, this is that sample survey I told you that I made before. Let's start looking at some of the really smart stuff you can do with ResponseSuite. Of course, at the very basic ground level, ResponseSuite allows you to build really great surveys. So of course, we've included features such as conditional logic. Let me show you what that looks like. So for example, on this question of the survey where it says, what is your main aim or goal with your fitness? If somebody chooses lose weight, it might ask them some specific questions in response to that. So what is your current weight and what is your target weight? Or, for example, if it says train for an athletic event, maybe they're going to be running a big marathon or something. When is that event? What's the date and what's the target? And that's really easy to set up. All you do is go to your settings page inside the builder. You click on the old conditional logic and you set it up in a really logical way. Just with ifs, or, and ands. It's really, really easy to do. So conditional logic, taken care of. But that's just for starters, because that's what most survey platforms do. And that's not the reason we built ResponseSuite and the reason our customers love it. Let me show you the big reasons. First of all, with every single package of ResponseSuite, you can send people to your own thank you URL. You don't have to pay us hundreds and thousands of dollars a year in order to send people to your own thank you page when someone's completed your survey. They hit submit at the end of the survey. You can take them to whichever web page you'd like. However, if you're using some of our more advanced features, you might want to use something called smart URLs. That is where you take people to a different thank you page depending on their answer to one of the questions in your survey. So for example, we've got a question in our survey which is, what is your biggest challenge right now? And we've got 5 options. They are mindset, nutrition, exercise, confidence, or other. All right. If someone chooses mindset, we might take them to our fitnesswebsite.com, which is just made up, of course, /mindset, where we might offer them some help or even some products which specifically help them with that particular need, in this case, mindset. But think about how this applies to your business. However, somebody who said they wanted help with their nutrition will be taken to a different page with an offer specifically to help them with that thing, and so on and so forth. As you can see, the impact of this and the possibilities are absolutely massive when it comes to getting a really quick return and actually make sales quicker from every single person who completes your survey. Now let's take a look at one of the big things that we use to found ResponseSuite on, and that is this bad boy here, integrations. You can integrate your ResponseSuite surveys with your favorite email marketing systems. Let me show you how you do that, because you'll see right now it says MailChimp or custom HTML. That's because I've hooked up my sample test MailChimp account with this ResponseSuite sample account. But if we go to integration setup by going over here, you'll see we natively integrate with a number of email autoresponder email marketing systems through the API, and we're constantly adding more and more of these to them. In actual fact, in 2 of my other businesses, I actually use other systems that currently don't integrate through the API, so I use the custom HTML. And that is basically grab the HTML form code from your system. For example, it might be that you're using ActiveCampaign or HubSpot or Infusionsoft or one of the other systems, or maybe your own self-hosted system. Just generate a form code and then you can paste it into the custom HTML, and that's what I do with my businesses. Okay, so let's go back to that survey we were working on. And let's take a look at how we actually make these integrations work and how simple this is. So again, I'm going to go into the settings. Boom, here we are, into the integrations. I've hooked this account up with my MailChimp account. I'm going to click MailChimp, fetch the lists. It goes across and it grabs all of your list names from MailChimp because you've linked them together. And I'm going to say, I want to link my list. There's a list in my MailChimp account called nutrition. There's one called time, one called mindset, and we'll say there's one called exercise, for example. All right. it goes and grabs the fields on those lists and gives me them here. So it's now telling me that every single one of these lists has a global field called email address. And of course, I'm asking for people's email address, so I'm going to have it link that email address with that email address field, so every time someone completes my ResponseSuite survey, it pushes it into the email field inside of my, in this example, MailChimp account. Of course, now we're going to get into some really serious stuff where we're going to start segmenting people by what they choose in the survey. So if someone chooses nutrition as the thing they want to get help with, so what is the biggest challenge right now? It's nutrition. I'm going to put them on the nutrition list inside of my email autoresponder system. And I'm going to marry up their first name with their last name, just like that. I'm going to ignore the phone number. However, if they say it's time, that's the problem. Well, I'm going to say maybe it's that. Maybe it's going to come under other. All right. So other, that's cool. And then again, their first name, their last name. This is so simple, as you can see. I'm just clicking stuff on the screen. Literally, I've built this so I can do it, and I'm not the brightest person in the room, let's be honest. So mindset, if they choose mindset, so I'm going to put them on the mindset list inside of my email marketing system. If they choose exercise, I'm going to put them on the exercise list inside my email marketing system. And again, I'm going to marry all those things up. What that means is, when someone comes through my survey and they tell us what their biggest challenge is right now, if someone says mindset, they're going to go into my mindset list inside my email marketing system, and that means I can follow up with them only with stuff that's relevant to people who want help with their mindset. And the same can be said for all the people who choose exercise. They'll get offers and information and follow-up based on exercise and not mindset. As you can see, it's massively powerful and really easy to set up, but we didn't stop there, as you might imagine. We've got some other settings which allow you to do things such as adding your Facebook pixel, so you can activate your Facebook pixel somewhere like this, and you can also integrate your Google Analytics code as well right into every single one of your surveys, and you can switch it on or you can switch it off just like that, so you can track things. And again, this is all about maximizing completion rate of your surveys. Imagine someone comes along to your survey, they start filling it out, but they don't reach the thank you page. You put them into a particular Facebook audience, and then you retarget them to try and get them and encourage them, and maybe incentivize them to complete your survey. So, as you can see, put all these things together, it's really simple to build, but it's really, really powerful. And we haven't even began to dig into the report suite. Let's have a quick look at that now. So let's create a brand new report, or let's do it like this. Click create. I'm going to put in brand, I can't even spell, brand new report. Let's do that. I'm going to create a report based on the Internet Marketing Research Survey. I don't even know what that is. I think Rob, my business partner, might have created that one. And then we can actually, rather than having to download all this data and then put it into Excel, figure out how on earth Excel works, because frankly I'm not entirely sure, in order to actually import the data in a way that you can actually display it, you don't even need to do that. You can grab a graph just like this, a chart, tell it which question to base the answer on, and you're done. What's brilliant about that is you can then share the URL, and you can share those results with people, all right? Really, really simple. Grab the share this around, and again, everyone can see it. And that's one thing I didn't mention over at the surveys area about sharing. Let's talk about that for a moment while we're on that subject. Going in here again, let's go in here, click on share. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can share your survey. One of them is to send people to this sort of random looking URL. Of course, you get your own subdomain with ResponseSuite, so that means you get a chance to brand your surveys right in the URL itself, in the URL bar, but then it's got this kind of weird code. Of course, if you want, you can put your own code in here, you can put your own name, and that means you can really brand that up and make it look custom, so you can send people to a URL on our hosted pages, which look like these, and they're rather splendid if we do say so ourselves, and we're coming up with constantly coming up with new themes and new look and feels for that, so you'll be excited to see those coming forward. In fact, by the time you're watching this video, there's a good chance more themes and things will be available. How exciting is that? But then there's a couple of other ways you can share your surveys. You can embed these surveys right onto one of your own web pages, whether you're using a page builder, or you've got like a WordPress, or you've got some kind of HTML website, whatever it is you're using, you can grab either this little snippet of code here or this longer piece of code here and actually embed these surveys right onto your own web pages, which means they're constantly branded for you. As you can see, the possibilities and the simplicity of ResponseSuite are absolutely massive, and we're always here to help.